I heard about these two guys. They argued for years over whether Jesus was white or whether he was black. Archie was sure he was white, and Jack was just as sure he was black. As fate would have it, they both died on the same day. They rushed to the pearly gates, said, "St. Peter, please tell us, is Jesus white or black?" We've been arguing our whole life over this. About that time, Jesus walked up and said, "Buenos dias." Most of you know my jokes are a lot of times not doctrinally correct, especially this one today, but just to make us laugh. I heard about this lady that died, and she found herself standing at the pearly gates. St. Peter said, "You can't come in unless you correctly spell a word." She said, "What word?" He said, "Any word." So she spelled the word love, L-O-V-E. Peter said, "Welcome to heaven." Then Peter asked her if she would take his place. He instructed her, if anybody comes, just follow the same procedure. Well, in a few minutes, this lady sees her ex-husband coming up. She said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I just had a heart attack. Did I really make it to heaven?" She said, "Not yet. You have to correctly spell a word." He said, "What word?" After a long pause, she said, "Czechoslovakia."
I was raised Baptist, so I was in church all day on Sunday. I wanted to be a Catholic so bad when I was growing up. I used to envy Catholics, because Catholics, they got in and out. 1 hour means 1 hour to a Catholic. I've seen Catholics riot after 1 hour. Hey, hey! We gonna be late for bingo. I would have Catholic friends come over. "Hey man, play some football." "I gotta go to church." "We'll play, we get out." I'm Baptist, you won't see me until Monday.
And I love learning. I was watching the History Channel before I came here. They're having this big debate whether Jesus was black or white. I actually think Jesus is Latino. Because first of all, his name is Jesus. His dad was a carpenter. And his mom got pregnant by not doing anything. That's Latina, I'm sorry.
Well, the Lord said, "My burden is easy and my yoke is light." Unless you're single. Christian single is the hardest thing in the world, isn't it? Have you ever been to the singles group? Because there's always that one guy who's been there 15 years, never getting married because he's too busy looking for Bible Barbie. Hey, yuck it up, ladies. You're too busy looking for Missionary Ken. And I got news for you. If he's really a missionary, he doesn't drive a Corvette and a sports camper. If he's really a missionary, he drives a 1963 Dodge Dart with 287,000 miles on it. He's got to pull over every 6 blocks to add water to the radiator, but at least it has a fish on the back and a bumper sticker that reads, "God provides." But they said they all had the answers to where life started. Each one of the hard sciences, where life started. Let's take chemistry. They said life started at where? The nucleus of an atom, right? And what went around the nucleus of an atom? Does anybody remember? Electrons, excellent. The size of the atom was 10 to the minus 10. That's very, very small. But I used to ask my teacher, you know, where does that come from? Where does that come from? And they'd say, well, and they start explaining, and I found out if you go to 10 to the minus 33, the atom becomes so small it implodes upon itself, becomes a black hole, ceases to exist. They got something from nothing, but they couldn't answer that. So then I went out to the physicist, and the physicist says life starts at a single point. They called it singularity, and they said with a big bang, the universe exploded out. Now we do know the universe is continuing to expand, and we do know that it is slowing down as it expands. But I've talked to some of the top physicists from Caltech in Los Angeles. They said there's one thing we don't know. We don't know what happened the first 3 minutes. No joke, 3 minutes. We know 3 minutes to now, it all makes sense. But we have no idea what happened the first 3 minutes. So then I went over to the biologist, and the biologist said life started at a single cell. Single cell. And after 2 billion years, 2 billion, it evolved into a 2-cell structure. But what the biologist couldn't answer was called the Cambrian population explosion, where in just 5 million years we went from 2 cells to all 36 body types currently in existence. That was supposed to take another 2 billion years. It only lasted 5 million. But they couldn't answer that. And somehow we ended up at man. What are they leaving out?
I'm not a Christian here. I mean, that's cool. We're glad you're here. But Christians, they use language sometimes and like code. It's like it doesn't mean what we're saying. We have this phrase, servant's heart. You ever hear that phrase? Servant's heart. I hear that all the time. Tim, you got a servant's heart, dude. You have got a servant's heart. See, I hate it when somebody says I got a servant's heart. It means they want me to start stacking chairs. You know. Servant's heart means you're a pushover and a loser. That's what servant's heart means. Tim, you got a servant's heart. So's your mama. You know what I'm talking about? No. You got a servant. No. Bring it. Bring it. Go time, pal. I love the way people talk about their church. It's like a code. You know, it's another code. If you hear someone say about a place, I love it there, I love the music there, well, that means the preaching stinks. That's bad. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. They say, I love the music, well, I love the preaching, that means the music stinks. You hear somebody say about a place, I love it there. No one judges me, and I can be who I want to be. You're at a bar. That's where you are. Keeping it real, folks. Keeping it real.
If I had the pleasure of bringing out Christ, this is just how I would do it. It ain't got to be the way you do it. You might not think it's just right, but this is how I would do it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce a man who needs no introduction. His credits are too long to list. He has done the impossible time after time. He hails out of a manger in Bethlehem, Jerusalem, by way of heaven. His mother is still headlining in the Catholic Church today. His daddy is the author of a book that has been on the bestseller list since the beginning of time. He holds the record for the world's greatest fish fry. He fed 5,000 hungry souls with 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread. He can walk on water, turn water into wine, no special effects, no camera tricks. He has a headshot on every church fan across the country. Even before the kings of comedy, he was hailed the king of all kings, ruler of the universe, Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end, the bright and the morning star. Some say he's the Rose of Sharon, and some say he's the Prince of Peace. Get up on your feet